Welcome to this tutorial. Today we are going to solve algebraic identities to find A, B and C. So the first question we have is 6x squared minus 25x plus 23 is equal to A, and then there are factors plus B plus C. Let's underline what we have. We have x minus 1 and x minus 1. So we write it on the side. X minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 1. The other number we have is x minus 2 and x minus 2. So x minus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to 2. The third we have is x minus 3 and x minus 3. Therefore, x minus 3 is equal to 0 and x is equal to 3. Instead of doing like this, we can see that this is x minus 1. So we change the sign. This is negative 1. So we will use x is equal to 1. This is negative 2. So we will use x is equal to 2. If the numbers are repeated, we don't use it. We'll go to the next number. This is x minus 3. So we can use x is equal to 3. We change the signs. Then we will write let x equal to 1. Wherever there is x, we'll replace it with 1. So 6, 1 square minus 25, 1 plus 23 is equal to. Put this in the calculator, you will get 4. Now moving on to the right side. Wherever there is 1, that term will get cancelled. So you have x minus 1 here. 1 minus 1 is 0. So that will give us a 0. And 0 multiplied by anything is 0. So A is cancelled. Then moving on to B. There is no 1 there, so we can use that term 1 minus 2 and 1 minus 3. Then for C, you have x minus 1 here. If you replace x with 1, you will get 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. And 0 multiplied by anything is 0. So C is cancelled. Now we put this in the calculator. Is equal to 2b. 2 multiplied by b. So when we shift the 2 to the other side, it will be a divide. 2 is equal to b. The next we will use let x equal 2. So when x is 2, we are going to again replace everywhere with 2. So 6, 2 square minus 25, 2 plus 23 will give us negative 3. Okay? And then on the right hand side, wherever there is 2, we will not use that variable. 2 minus 2 is 0, so A won't be used. 2 minus 2 is 0, so we will not use B, and we will use C. 2 minus 3 and 2 minus 1. And this will give us negative 1C. Divide negative 3 by negative 1, and the answer is 3 is equal to C. Now we are going to use the 3 which we had. So let x equal 3. Wherever there is x, we'll substitute 3. So 6 3 square minus 25 3 plus 23. And here 3 minus 1 and 3 minus 2 with a. We have a 3 here. 3 minus 3 is 0. So b will get cancelled. 3 minus 3 is 0. Therefore c will get cancelled. When you put this in the calculator, you will get 2. And this will give us 2. 2 divided by 2 is our a. Therefore 1 is equal to a. We found our a, b and c. Moving on to the next question. So now what numbers can we take? We will not write it on the side. We will see directly in the equation. We have x minus 1. I told you if you have a negative number, you will write it as positive. So one number is x is equal to 2. Then you have x plus 1. So you will use x is equal to negative 1. And then you can see that these brackets are the same, x plus 1 and x minus 1, so you cannot repeat the numbers. But there's an x here. When x is alone and not in a bracket with another number, it means that we'll take the value of x as 0. So let's start. We'll start first with 0. Let x equal 0. On our left hand side, we have only a number 2. There is no x there, so we cannot replace it with 0 or anything else. A will be 0 minus 1 and 0 plus 1. There's a 0 here, so 0 multiplied by anything 0, B is cancelled. The same case with C. There's a 0 here, so that will get cancelled. And we are left with 2 is equal to negative A. Put this whole thing in the bracket, you will get negative 1. Therefore, negative 2 is equal to A. We give the sign to the number and not to the variable. Now, the next number we will use is let x equal 1. Therefore, 2 is equal to 1 minus 1 is 0. So, A is cancelled and 1 minus 1 is 0. C is cancelled. We are left with B. 1 and 1 plus 1. Put this in the calculator, you will get 2. 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So, therefore, 1 is equal to B. Now, we are going to use let x is equal to negative 1. Again, if you substitute negative 1 here, negative 1 plus 1, 0, A is cancelled. Negative 1 plus 1, 0, B is cancelled. So we are left with C. 2 is equal to C, bracket, negative 1 minus 1. And when you put this whole thing in the calculator, you will get 2. Divide both the sides by 2 and 1 is equal to C. So if you understand these two examples, you will be able to find A, B and C when you have 3 different values of x. For the other type of equations, do watch the other videos. Thank you for watching. Share it with your friends, please.